had the vision, built this team with precision. Legends on a mission, now we're lost in division. Jerry came with money ball, turned our rise into a fall. Fans crying in the hall while we suffer through it all. Where did the glory go? Martini made it so. Now we're left feeling low in a bad team shadow. You still left the trophy high, dreams were touching the sky. Now we just wonder why bad choices make us sigh. Favorite set for the king, Gary pulled every string, but it don't mean a thing when you forget the zing. Where did the glory go? Martini made it so. Now we're left feeling low in a bad team shadow. Used to lift the trophy high, dreams were touching the sky. Now we just wonder why bad choices make us sigh. Favorite set for the king, Jerry pulled every string, but it don't mean a thing when you forget the zing. Maldini had the vision, built this team with precision. Legends on a mission, now we're lost in division. Jerry came with money ball, turned our rise into a fall. Fans crying in the hall while we suffer through it all. Where did the glory go? Maldini made it so. Now we're left feeling low in a bad team shadow. You still left the trophy high, dreams were touching the sky. Now we just wonder why bad choices make us sigh. Favorite set for the king, Gary pulled every string, but it don't mean a thing when you forget the zing. Where did the glory go? Martini made it so. Now we're left feeling low in a bad team shadow. Used to lift the trophy high, dreams were touching the sky. Now we just wonder why bad choices make us sigh. Favorite set for the king, Jerry.
Hello everyone. All right. How's it going? Milanistas360 guys. Let us know if you like the new intro, like the vibe of it. We're just playing around with some new music, stuff like that. So anyway, really good to see y'all. So it's your hosts, Shane, coming from his beautiful unsunny apartment because it's a bit overcast today in Malaga, and Senor Lab Gorilla there over in the UK. How you been, man?
I think work-wise has been a really heavy week, so I'm quite tired. But actually, football-wise, I don't think there were any surprises. I think it was pretty much expected what we saw. But come on, this is a big week for you, Shane. So this is the Shane show today. I want to hear all about your trip. I want to hear about your experiences before we look forward to something tomorrow, which is going to be monumental.
It is going to be monumental. We're going to cover that in a bit. It's going to be monumental for all of the wrong reasons, unfortunately, Chad.
Yeah.
So I guess, going back to the title of the episode. So obviously, I was in Milan. So I was fortunate enough to go to unfortunate enough to see the Liverpool game, but fortunate enough to be in Milan and experience it. So a couple of images and a couple of points that I just want to bring up. Shout out to a couple of people that were there, that had also spent their hard-earned money to get there. So let's just dig into it. So first image. Right, see if I can actually make this big. So this is shout out to Vinny T from Milan Weekly Pod. So he's on the left. In the middle is Khaled, also from the Milan Weekly Pod.
Awesome.
But great guy. So we all obviously that was us lined up. before the game. Yeah, there was a lot of excitement going on. Little did we know, look how innocent we looked.
I mean, what can you do, mate? I mean, at the end of the day,
Mm.
these guys. Where did Khaled come from? Did he come from the US? Did he travel
Yeah,
from the
so
US?
Khaled's like flew all the way from the US, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's like that's, I mean, serious flight time, serious cash on the flights.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
So this is what we got: someone from Canada, someone from Spain, someone from the US. I mean, you no matter what the result, it was supposed to be an experience, right? And it
oh,
was.
and that it was, man, that it
Yeah.
was. So
Mhm.
right, and then of course, so you get super excited, you get some good food outside. Ingest about 1,000 calories because the food is so good, it's bad. But then right, this is a couple of beers deep, right, and
Nice,
you're
man. Beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful. So, oh, you can see this is the thing, Shane.
Mm,
At the ring there next to the pitch.
mm.
How long before kickoff was this? Do you think
Oh man, this was probably, I'd say it was about half an hour.
half an hour? Okay,
Yeah, maybe
because they
so.
said
Mm.
I think at the end of the day the ticket receipts was 59,000.
Yeah, it started creeping up, right?
Mm.
But again, the fact that it was 59,000, I mean, that tells you all I need to know, John.
Could you actually see gaps in areas where was it quite visible or not?
No, so I think what they've done, because you know yourself with the stadium anyway, John, right? They're not like super specific when it comes to the seating, right? So it's like while they give you your ticket number, once you're in the section, right, it's a
That's
free.
it. Yeah,
Claims that you can just take it, right?
yeah, yeah.
So there wasn't really many gaps, and we didn't see many gaps.
People
But
spread out nicely. Okay.
yeah. So it was nice, man. So there's a couple of things though. I'll just get my ugly mug off of the screen. Hold on.
Tell you
So
what, you had a good view of the Curva Sud. I just
I
noticed where it was.
those guys were very, like So we were queued up outside the. We were queued up. Well, okay. So before the game, what we ended up doing was there's a little restaurant which I can't remember the name of because too many Peronis. But we were kind of hanging around there for a bit, and we seen the Curva Sud, and that was amazing. And then there was like fireworks and all this, not fireworks, what you call those things that make like a huge loud noise, but they don't create any explosion or any firework. They started going off anyway. So
Oh,
yeah, it was
flashbangs.
flashbangs, something like that. But
Yeah.
it was super intense, man. And it was really cool. And one cool thing, because Vinny pointed it out. So when it comes to the Corva guys, um, amazing designs, right? Some of the stuff that they wear, but we didn't see the same T-shirt twice
Mm,
or the same hoodie twice. It was really cool, honestly. I noticed that thing with the Curva merch is, unless you're in the Curva, you shouldn't wear it. I appreciate that, but wow, it looks amazing.
really, really. Is
It is.
it like specific for them kind of thing? Is it?
It's so I think the vibe is the vibe is that like unless you're in it, it's kind of frowned upon you wearing it.
Oh, okay.
Which I mean, look, I understand it. It is what it is, but it's also beautiful. So it
Ah,
right because there is places you can buy it apparently, but again, it's kind of frowned upon if you're not in it. So yeah, that was it. It like there's a couple of things though, right, from the game.
mm,
There was a one key, like I guess during the warm up, one of my key takeaways was so when the players were training, right, they had some of the midfielders, and they were basically holding the ball, right. So the defenders would line up. So you would had Gabby, Tomori, etc. So they were kind of in a circle around the midfielders, right,
yeah.
and it was their job to try and get the ball off of the midfielder, yeah. And do you know who's amazing with his ball control? You could see it. Like there was points where there was like for 30 seconds that
Let
they
me
couldn't get
guess.
the ball.
Hang on, I really want to guess this one. In our reindeer,
No,
who?
Musa.
No,
Honestly, I seen it,
I,
dude.
I would never have guessed that, dude. Never have
Honestly,
guessed that.
like, and it was amazing because like they could not get the ball off him.
Okay.
I
So
was
what
like,
happens to the outside when he plays
that's
football?
that's what I said, right? Because I was like, oh, another cool thing happened as well, right? So Kake came out.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw
mm,
all the pictures and the videos. I even heard people screaming at him and saying, "Play on Sunday."
yeah, yeah. So Kake came out. He was kind of, presented to the crowd, obviously, which in a way made
Beautiful.
the result hurt more because you kind of remembered what he used to have.
Is it right? The mascot gave him a shirt, right, and he put it on in front of the crowd, right?
That's it. Yeah,
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 I
pretty
saw that
much.
bit.
And obviously, because
Amazing.
I was so far away, I couldn't get like a decent
Yeah,
photo of it.
yeah.
But yeah, that was so good, but so sad at the same time.
Kind of thinking like where we were and where we are now. Yeah, no, I get your point.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, so the trip went well. The funny thing was this. I heard on
Mm,
other podcasts that other people were trying to get to the game and they couldn't because the ticket prices are too expensive. Now you
mm.
were there, so you can tell me. I did check on the ticket office how much they were the tickets, and the cheapest was €65. Okay,
Mm,
the most expensive was about 600.
mm.
Um, the section that you were, do you mind saying how much it was for that section?
I have 400 and something.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like
Really?
it wasn't cheap. But to be fair,
No.
right?
Yeah.
To be fair, I just want to like clarify that. So we had used like it's a reputable site, right? But we had used it because we were initially in fear that the tickets are gonna be sold out. So it's like we
Yeah.
have to get them ahead of time, right?
Okay.
Which and then you have the added markup of that. Whereas I dare say if we waited till we got to the stadium, they would have been cheaper.
Yeah, I
So
think so. Yeah.
there's
But
that
I
kind of
guess you were
like
not. I mean, who the hell would guess that against Liverpool there'll be so many unsold? You wouldn't really, would you?
it should never happen, man. Like I
Yeah.
mean,
Well.
and this is
Yeah.
this is the really shit thing about it. So well the experience itself was amazing, right?
Yeah.
you could you could kind of tell. So it so the game itself, obviously, it was very exciting at the start because somehow Pulisic came in. I mean, that was a great goal as well. Fair dues to Pulisic. I mean, he finished
Yeah.
that. That was divine, right? And everyone
Yeah.
was so happy, right? And then I was going like, "Oh fuck, here we go, right? Our season is going to start here, John. We're going to beat Liverpool, then we're going to beat Inter." And then, of course, yeah, Liverpool
Yeah.
happened and Liverpool
Yeah.
started playing. But you could literally tell, man, as soon as the first Liverpool goal went in, the feeling was, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
It was literally just like, abandon all hope. I mean, awful, man. And like, you get to half time, you think, okay, right, maybe there's still a good chance. Obviously, we can do something here. But next thing, then it's like, I mean, fucking Calabria, right? I mean,
So let's stop there for a minute, Shane. You got to see your favorite player
of all time,
of all time
Calabria.
in person. And I mean, so for UK viewers, one thing I'll say is that the game was live on Prime TV. It's the first time in several years that I've managed to watch it on Prime without having to pay any additional fees,
Nice.
which was fantastic. So finally, I got to see Milan in the Champions League again because I'm telling you, even through the betting sites, only Serie A games and Coppa d'Italia are available.
Oh no, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I had not actually watched Milan. I'd always listened to them on the radio. I'd look for an
Hmm.
Italian channel and listen to it. But
Sure.
this time I got to watch them, and exactly as you said, Shane, you were there, you experienced it.
Hmm.
But that first goal was like this is what I said. I think I was on X, and I said this: Milan's best chance is because at the beginning, Liverpool will not know what to expect. They will be shocked by what they see, and but also our own squad don't know what to expect from ourselves.
This
And
is
I
the
think
problem.
yes, and I said our best chance is for us to catch them early. But I
Mm,
said the moment Liverpool settle, the game will be over.
yeah.
That's literally what I posted on X. And the thing is that you, after that first goal, it was like the difference in level between the two squads, Shane, was not even as if they were in the same league. Do you get what I'm saying? Like from my perspective, from watching it from obviously a TV view, Liverpool players literally did what they wanted to do. It was like a training exercise. They was like, okay, now we want to move forward. We want to punch through them. They punched through us. Now we want to score one. We'll score one. And
But you know what the thing is, though, Chad?
yeah,
This is the frustrating thing. I think for all this squad's faults, I don't think there's a huge gap in quality between us and Liverpool. I think the big difference is when you have a team playing with no confidence and no direction versus a team that's well drilled.
so that's an interesting opinion, Shane,
Mm.
because I think we have some really poor players on that squad. And I think Liverpool, I don't, so I see Liverpool as probably, how would you rate them in Europe, Liverpool wise? Would you rate them absolute elite class? Would you rate them with Man Cities and Real Madrids of
No,
this world? You
not
wouldn't,
this
would you?
season. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, historically, yes, I'd put them, I mean, they're only just behind us. So it's like, Real
yeah.
Madrid, us, Liverpool. So, I mean,
I'm talking
historically, yes.
currently.
Currently,
Currently.
though, I don't think so.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's look at the squad. And there was an interesting thing where it's like squad comparison, and
Mm,
they put Pavlovic or Van Dijk. Which one would you take? I'm like, okay, would you take
fair,
Salah? Would you take Diaz? And you
fair,
kind of got Gravenberch, by the way. Bloody
fair.
hell, that player must have looked impressive, by the way, because
Yeah. But
he was doing damage.
at a
Yeah.
certain point as well, right? And I didn't realize this was the thing. When you start getting that absolutely smashed, right, you no longer focus on their players. You start
Oh,
because I was,
really?
yeah. So what was happening was I was focusing on what we were doing, and
Tell me. Yeah.
and like for the first, this is when I say it out loud, it actually sounds even more pathetic on Fonseca. But for the first couple of minutes, right, you could see distinguished shape. And I was going like, oh, this is going to work because he has Fofana and RLC, and they're in this like double pivot. And then you could see, what was it, Ryan Deers, pushing up the pitch. And I was like, this is comfortable. This works. This makes sense. And next thing, then it was like, fuck. I mean, you could see Calabria there as well, right? And the thing is if he's not fooling someone that goes to watch him on the pitch, right? How the fuck is he fooling management into having kept him this long?
It's
Like
because we've got nothing else, dude.
it's awful, man. He's absolute like and again like it's the fouls as well, right? I mean you can get away with those fouls against fucking Manza or I don't know maybe like some other like average team. When you're playing in the Champions League, though, like you can't make those mistakes. Like,
So yeah, I mean, we don't need to talk that much about Calabria. We really understand who the guy is. We've seen him forever, and you have been very consistent in your opinion of him and
fucking
his
junk, man.
limitation.
He's junk.
Complete. As I said, what I'm just trying to think. I'm going to bring up the game on
Mm,
my kind of text description of it. So a couple of things. Morata had the assist on the Pulisic goal,
mm.
so well done to him. Although I would say that after that they kind of disappeared. Um, Ibrahima Konate scored on the 23rd minute, assist from Alexander Arnold. Van Dijk with that free header from Simicas. Was it a
One of
corner,
the
wasn't it?
tallest people on the pitch, by the way, getting a free header.
Yeah. And then Soboslai scored in the 67th minute from Cody Gakpo. By the way, Soboslai, I think, I'm trying to remember, there was Liverpool players after the game that were wearing Milan shirts, and they basically said, Do you remember which one it was?
Yeah, it was Saboslai and
It was Soboslai, wasn't it?
it was Saboslai, and I think it was, oh God, insert random Liverpool player here,
That's all right. That's all right. Don't worry.
but
It
it's
was,
definitely
but
one with Saboslai.
I
Yeah,
think Soboslai came out with a comment. Oh, Kim, you're 30,000 feet in the air, heading towards Europe. All the best, man.
God
Safe
bless
trip.
Kim.
That's dude. That's a first. Shane, we've
That's
made
it.
it.
This is cool, man.
We've literally got a viewer in the air, man. You're Kim. You're the highest viewer. You're the highest viewer we've ever
Yes,
had.
that
New
is cool,
record.
dude. That is cool, man.
That is
Shout
absolutely
out to
fantastic. Oh man, we got to keep this one, man. It's like
yeah.
clip this, dude.
Okay.
The highest viewer in our record. But yeah, Soboslai came out afterwards and said, "Why do I wear a Milan shirt? It's because I've actually always been a Milan supporter."
And he said,
And you
and
have
where
picture
that
of
comes
Maldini, right?
from? Yeah, yeah. And do you know where that came from? So it
Well,
came from he had there's a picture of him at his grandmother's place, I guess in
oh,
Hungary, right? It's a picture of him, Maldini, and his grandmother. And he said, I
wow,
met him when I was a kid, and I've always been a Milan fan ever since.
bless.
It's all right
Yeah,
though, John, because in the future, right? You know, people are going to meet what's his name, fucking Forlani. You know,
yeah. Mile High Club, Kim says.
I like that.
um, so, a couple of things to say here, Shane.
Hmm.
Total shots on target. We need to talk about this.
Yeah,
Liverpool playing away from home, 11. Milan playing at home, 2. Apparently, this equals the most shots on target conceded by a Milan club ever in the Champions League, right?
yeah,
So this is what I Shane. So it's interesting that you start to focus being on the at the stadium. You start to focus on your own team after things go so badly. But
yep.
I was like, what shocked me is that we lost all control of the game. It became so one sided that I wasn't even disgusted by it anymore. I was feeling pity.
I was fucking feeling severe trauma there, man. Because honestly,
Well,
like when you're there, right, and people start whistling, like that's fucking like
it's
you
scary,
know,
right?
like yeah, like and the curve then were doing their best to drown it out, right, but that wasn't working.
Yeah.
You
Uh,
know,
so, and the other thing as well, remember, I'm in England, and so I was getting English commentary. And can I just say something
all
about?
the pro Liverpool bullshit, I guess.
No, dude. This
No,
is like the shock in the commentators because they've not been watching us. They didn't know what to expect.
no.
Let me just. I got something here. I'm just going to read it to you. All right, Paul Merson.
Hmm.
Yeah, 26 minutes, an easy goal. Kanate got above everyone. The goalkeeper came out and was nowhere near it.
Yeah,
27 minute. I can't believe what I'm watching from Milan. I will be shocked if Liverpool don't win this 3-1 or 4-1. 30th minute. It's all Liverpool. It's only a matter of time. 41st minute. 5 yards, free header. It's embarrassing.
yeah.
Honestly, you've never seen anything like it. 78th minute. It has been so comfortable.
And you know what the worst thing as well is? Imagine if he's saying this in about an Italian squad. Like, sorry, a team that plays in Italy, we'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think,
That's
and
not
the
Bologna.
most,
Like,
hey, Shane,
yeah,
Bologna got a point.
yeah, that's it. I know.
Bologna got a point in the Champions League table. We don't. Um, and that's actually well done to Bologna because that's I did not expect them to do anything. So Milan, I guess we all expected them to lose, right? But we were
Hmm.
hoping they'd put up some kind of a fight. I don't call it 3-1 putting up a fight, Shane.
So when I was going up the steps, I was talking to Vinny, right?
Yeah.
And it was this thing where the more beer I had, right, the more positive I felt because I was like, oh, all I need to do is this, need to do a couple of things, whatever, and next thing it's like, and but I literally said the same thing. It was like I wouldn't have cared, man, if it was a draw or even a loss. right? As long as they came out and they showed what they could actually do. Because I'm convinced that this squad has a higher ceiling than what we see, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah. Oh wait,
So
hold on. Shout out to MLM. Right. Hi, gents. Great pod. Forza Milan. I think. Man, I'm all Forza Milan out at this point.
hello, Gino and Max. All the best to you guys.
Best.
Again, give these guys a follow, right?
Yep.
Um,
MLM
so
podcast. Some of the best content on the interwebs. Check them out on Spotify. And they're also on YouTube now. Great channel. Great guys.
so because you were there, I want to know your opinion on Mike Manyan and his rolling around. Oh, got pain in one leg, the other leg, and then just at the end of the half, you're like, he's got to keep coming off. Something's wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
And what did we say, Shane? We had this discussion a few weeks back about the B team.
Mm-hmm.
Torriani had to come on.
Mm-hmm.
A kid had to come on. So, what was your opinion on watching that? He's so young looking, that boy. But how did you think he did? Because he had a great preseason.
Do you know what? Considering the type of game he was called up in, I mean, he didn't make any glaring fuck ups, right? I mean, to be honest, I was, I was quite proud of him, and he showed up and he did what he needed to do. I So the Moynihan thing, look, I get it. If he feels a pull, I mean, he's used to being injured at this point. So, I mean, if he
But he's
feels,
back for tomorrow, apparently.
yeah, it's kind of like fucking. That wasn't like for me. That was just okay. That's a player whose muscles are fatigued or something like that, and he wants to come off because he doesn't want to cause a serious injury. But I understand it logically. But then it's like you're playing in the fucking Champions League against Liverpool, man. You should everything like no. If you can get them to give you some sort of magic spray or whatever, you don't come off that pitch, right? But thankfully, though, on the scale of things, Tariani did. I think he did okay. He did
Yeah.
reasonably well. Considering he has, a fucking Serie B level fucking defense sitting in front of them, and I include Pavlovic in this. And I've said this about Pavlovic since he came. People were getting excited because he can score a header, not forgetting that his primary role is actually as a fucking defender. And when he can't defend, that's a problem, right? Do you see? So anyway.
So the other thing is this, and then Calabria started rolling around, and I was like, okay, to me, and I'll just give you my opinion on this, Shane. Like, it looked to me like basically they just didn't want it.
No, so yes, I agree. I think on top of that, though, we don't want it because we know we can't achieve it because we don't trust the instructions coming from Fonseca.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. So I think that's what it is. Because not wanting it is one thing, right? You could kind of say, well, look, at some point, yeah, fair, that's true. But like when you look at the reasons why, I think it just comes back to this thing where the players don't understand the instruction or don't trust the instructions that they're being given.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what goes along, I think, when you're, I guess, star player, right, Leao, right, he didn't stay out. Like all of the players came to the Curva Sud, right, and they got fucking jeered. Like,
yeah, well,
I mean, rightfully
I'd
so.
expect nothing less, dude.
Yeah. So they got rightfully jeered, right? Everyone except Leao, who just walked down the tunnel.
Did he? Did he really? So this is kind of information that's really interesting. Leao had a bad game, dude. It was like he had a couple of moments where he sprinted, but it was. This is the thing now. I need to ask this question because our fan base a lot of the time has been saying Leao is our world class player alongside Theo Hernandez. Yeah.
On his day he is, but world class is consistently world class. And
Thank you, Shay.
Yeah.
That is exactly my point here.
Mm-hmm.
That match, he should have showed. He should have rammed these guys. He should have demonstrated what he's capable of. And in fact, Liverpool, the number of times he got easily tackled. I mean, okay, listen, Liverpool players are just to me, and I said to me,
Mm.
They're just a better squad, right? They
Yeah.
are better trained. Although they have a new manager, he the worst indictment I can say is that on many English sites they said we can't tell if the Nottingham Forest loss that Liverpool had was just a anomaly because Milan was so poor that we can't judge Liverpool on that game.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't disagree with this. You have to
Mm.
take off your red and black glasses,
Yep.
and you have to say we were so poor that I think if you play like that, you're going to lose against anyone with half an ounce of knowledge and nous.
Mm.
You're just going to lose, and so I think it's correct, and I worry because I'm starting to think, and this is going to be so controversial, Shane. I'm starting to think that Leao isn't all that, dude. He is okay, but this
Mm.
is like a lot of Portugal fans have told me over the years, John. We know what greatness is. We've had it in our squad. They talk about Ronaldo
Mm.
day in, day out. The guy delivers. Leao is not that. They said,
No, but I think that's a very unfair assessment, right? Because it's kind of like saying, all right, give me another player on the Argentinian squad, and it's like, they're not as good as Messi, so therefore they're not good players. I don't think that's a fair assessment. I think for me though, the problem with Leao is you need for us to play really well, you need both Teo and both Leao to be functioning well, right? Um, and that's the problem. It's like when either of those two aren't playing, we're fucked,
yeah.
right?
No, you're right. You're right. They do work together very well. They need each other. I think you're right. I think you're right. I'd say Theo had a very quiet game, didn't he?
He
What
did.
did it look like from pitch side?
As you know, I say this as a straight man, but Teo is my man
Man
crush. I
crush.
love the man.
Yeah.
So no, it kept an eye out for him. No, yeah. Overall, it was very quiet. Like I noticed some things with him as well. He's kind of like wandering around the pitch and coming out of position a lot. And you're kind of going, this is a fucking dangerous thing to do against Liverpool, right?
Well, he had Salah on his side, didn't he? That's a bit of a
Yeah,
nightmare.
yeah. It's
So
like what please stay where you are, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, and yeah,
Okay.
and then like just to wrap up, then I mean another takeaway from the game. I mean, you can't appreciate how fucking intense it is when you have, what did you say, John? Around what, 59,000? So, what, 55,000 or so fucking, people in the stadium fucking jeering and hissing and whistling at the team. That was
hmm
fucking intense, man. Like, you
Yeah,
feel that, right? And you're in, like, it's not a good feeling.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So I mean, Shane, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. I would say that. Goodness. The stuff didn't stop there. However, did it? Ibra was there. He came out afterwards and spoke absolute garbage. And he said something about I'm a lion. When the lion goes away, the kittens come and meow. And
It's this
just
bullshit.
shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, Ibrahimovic. I
Mm,
don't want to hear any more of this.
no.
Just wish someone would just grab him. I was just talking to Shane pre-show, showing him this AC Milan organizational chart, the organogram, and how many people we have in business development, financial development, communications. Well, please, can that communications officer have a chat with Ibra and get him to actually listen? Because he should just stop talking.
It's
It's
tone deaf.
embarrassing.
It is like
He
it's
is.
tone deaf at this point because you're just kind of going like, you
I'm
know,
the boss of everyone. Everyone listens to me. I make all the decisions. What is this? He's such a
mm,
troll. He's trolling me. He's trolling you. He's trolling all the fans.
mm. No, that's what it
And
is, man. Just
I'm
like
just like, yeah. And as I said, Fonseca, forget it. Just forget Fonseca. Honestly, uh, maybe we should have the discussion now, Shane, on Fonseca. You were there. You watched the organization of that team. You saw.
It was
Uh,
okay for the first couple of minutes, man. I was. It could have been the beer as well, right? But
yeah.
it was like it all made sense, right? And next thing, then it was like, oh fuck, even better, we've scored somehow, right? This is it, John. This is the start of our season. We're gonna win the Champions League this season. We're gonna win the rest of our games in the league. And
Wow, you
next
were
thing,
really drunk, mate.
I was, and then, and then world came back to bite me on the arse, and then yeah, obviously
Yeah.
Liverpool did what they did.
So having been pitch side, what did
Mm.
you kind of gauge from Seca's reactions or the way he seemed to try and adjust the team from the TV, from watching it? Basically, once again, same thing. Once we go down, he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll just throw players on."
Yeah, there's not much. I think, and this is another thing I noticed as well. So when it comes to his communication with the players, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen this with Leao more so, and sometimes with Teo, but more often with Leao. You could see Fonseca was shouting at him,
Okay.
right? But obviously I was so far away I couldn't tell what he was shouting at him. But it was like it didn't change what Leao did. If the intention was to get him to change it up or start doing something differently, he just kept doing the same thing all game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So okay. Well, I just want to point something out for everyone. So looking at this, we were 2-1 down.
mm,
Mannion got his injury. That was the first sub that Fonseca made. So we were 2-1 down,
mhm,
and Fonseca brought on Torriani, but that was forced, right? We
mhm,
then went 3-1 down, Shane.
mhm,
After we went 3-1 down, that's when he made the four subs. This is
mhm,
what I'm saying. This is not, this is literally exactly the same as Pioli,
mm,
because that's what you'd wait until you're in absolute chaos and unable to respond, and you can't change anything. And by the way, Tanny Abraham, when he came on,
mhm,
from my point of view, he tried pretty hard and he got some moves together. But it's too
mhm.
late. You're 3-1 down. You're 3-1 down to extremely confident Liverpool.
He was. So what I'll say about that, about Tammy as well. Considering he was lining up for Roma at the start of the season, and then we panic bought him, I want to give him some credit because he really, like, it seemed like he wanted to make a change, like he wanted to put in the effort to try and invoke some change in the game when he came on.
Yeah,
You could see he was just out of, look, I'm not saying it was a 10 out of 10 performance, but you could see that he was doing all the right things. So
yeah,
shout out to the guy at the end of it, right?
yeah.
Um,
Would you say
mm,
that he deserves a start against Inter? What
yeah,
would you say, Shane? Do
I
you think
would.
he should?
I would, but see, here's the thing though as well. It's like even Tammy, and even if he comes out and does the same thing, and he's trying to be more proactive, and look, I get it, right? The problem is if you're getting little to no service, it doesn't matter who you start,
Yeah.
you know, because
No, no, absolutely.
I mean, and look, I know Captain America this, Captain America that, and he got a goal, but I mean, fuck's sake, after that goal, he was invisible.
Yeah, I think a lot of people said this. So let's move on to let's do some business news, Shane, which is part of AC Milan 2024. Business news: AC Milan announced a partnership with Dyson. Wonderful job, guys. Really good job. Uh, AC Milan is pleased to announce a new strategic collaboration with Dyson, a global leader in technological innovation. Now, Shane, again, please don't get angry when I read this bit, okay? AC Milan and Dyson share core values that form the foundation of this collaboration. Ready?
Mm.
Passion, innovation, quality, unwavering commitment to continuous improvement.
Brilliant, brilliant. Fucking brilliant. That's the most generic marketing bullshit fucking sentence. That's like copy pasted straight from Chat GPT. Brilliant.
You,
Uh
you can't make this up. And I think with the discussion we've had is you can't blame the marketing team. They're doing their job, but they appear to be doing a much, much better job.
No, wait, 100%, man. I mean, honestly, like, and I'm being consistent when I say this, right? Marketing and Redbird, brilliant. Like Redbird really know what they're doing. It's like that and the Futuro, right? Brilliant. Really good. Okay, great. Everything else, fucking horrifically bad, right? But like the marketing is good, right? And at
Yeah,
least, you know, in the dilapidated fucking toilets in the San Siro, hopefully we get some of those like nifty hand
did
dryers, you
did
know?
did you go? Did you go?
I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You did take a picture though, did you, mate? You were like, I'm not getting my phone out for this.
I didn't feel right. But yeah, I did,
Okay.
man. I went, to be honest, I mean,
You've seen worse in
I've
Malaga.
seen worse. Yeah,
All
I've
right,
seen
fair
worse, man.
enough. All right. So on the manager, Shane, or
Hmm.
I mean, I've got no. Basically, if we want to try and get anything out of the season, my
Hmm.
opinion is okay. I'm gonna say my piece, Shane. I want your opinion on what I'm about to say here.
Hmm.
First of all, the only person I can see that makes any sense whatsoever is Sarri. Um,
I don't
all the
even
other,
think that makes sense.
well, dude, listen, man. Two door, whatever. But I think the biggest issue here is
Hmm.
the fan base. I understand that there's a clamor for a managerial change because what we have seen is basically a demonstration that we are in trouble. We are in very serious trouble. All right.
Chad, Chad.
But, Shane,
Yeah,
but what is the actual change that needs to happen at the club? Who put Fonseca there?
yeah.
Okay.
No, this is the
That's
problem.
That's the thing that the fans do not be deflected by looking at Fonseca only. Think about that managerial team and the fact that I know Moncada wanted Lopetegui. Moncada, that was his choice. I know that that was his choice.
Hmm.
And then hell on earth broke out. Didn't get Lopetegui. Brought in Fonseca. Somebody approved Fonseca. The whole chain of people that approved Fonseca for, let's be clear, for a monetary reason, not a coaching reason, despite all the lies that we were told, youth, different style of playing, you know, all that kind of. So you know who I'm talking about here. The
Yeah,
person that delivered all those lies and the person that actually made the decision, they need to go.
100%.
They
No,
need to be removed.
dude. The concerning thing is here as well is like I think, you know, this is so the concern I have with people is that they think that us getting a new manager, a new coach suddenly going to fix our midfield that's been ripped asunder and completely broken. It's not, right? The quality, overall quality of the squad is just is I mean, eh, you know, that can't be fixed. Like at least not for another, you know, potentially 2 or 3 years of good successive transfer windows. And for good successive transfer windows, you know, you need a sporting director. You need someone at the club that, you know, has a vision, right? It's just painfully obvious though. Fucking Ibrahimovic, Furlani. I mean, ironically though, I'd say Moncada should stay on as a scout. I have no problem with that as a scout, right?
But that's the problem here, Shane. He's not just a scout. I
No, this
think
is the
this
problem. Yeah,
Shane, this is the thing. You're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, you're going to be demoted." He's
Hmm.
now technical director, mate. I'm
That's it.
looking at the AC Milan organization chart. He's the technical director of the club.
And he's
Get rid of
okaying
him.
an Emerson Royale transfer.
So excellent point. Excellent point.
Hmm.
And I just want to hammer this point home. Pierre Kalulu is now a starter for Juventus. They won 3-1 against PSV in the Champions League. Played 90 minutes.
Hmm.
3.5 million. Emerson Royale, 15 million or whatever it was.
Hmm.
Enough. The person responsible for making the decision needs to go. And guess what? It's most likely to be the same person involved in bringing in a broke ass coach who had no ability to do anything. So the fans must not lose sight, in my opinion, of the actual problem here. It is structural.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't fixed by a new manager
No, and the thing
or
is,
random players or
what I keep saying, exactly what I keep saying is they they will keep throwing bodies in the way. You know, they'll keep throwing. But Ibra is a body that's being thrown in the way, and Forlani, what's his face? Fonseca is another body that's being thrown in the way. They're
Yep.
just bodies being thrown in the way to deflect. The true problem
Mm,
is ownership, and the true problem is management. We've just said, commercial side up here.
mm,
The actual sporting side, which is what Milan is,
mm.
Associazione Calcio, yeah,
It's non-existent now.
is non-existent. And the point from Kim earlier on, Milanismo. Did you see, Shane,
No,
outside of the actual fans, yeah, sitting in the rings? Did you see any Milanismo on that pitch?
no, no. I mean, sure, who's I going to see that from? I mean, if you look at it, it see, like, the concerning thing as well is, yeah, I know Fonseca is a complete fucking disaster. Right? I know that. The concern I have is that unless they got in a height, like, they would need a world class manager to even begin to fix this shit, right? Because with a world class manager becomes world class expectations and a requirement for world class players, which they would never fulfill because it's too expensive,
And world
right?
class wages
And world class wages,
for him.
right? And people are going on about fucking Sarri coming in.
Well, Shane, I'm just gonna tell you, I think that's the most likely name to be coming in. All right, I think
Oh,
that, and but Shane, but
yeah.
I keep saying it. It isn't the fix, but I understand.
I
I
understand the
understand.
I
I
understand the
understand.
want to change, and they should
Yes,
change, but it's
yes.
like it's you know yourself, John. Like, can you imagine Sarri ball?
It doesn't,
Um,
Shane.
mm,
The This is my point right from the beginning.
mm,
When I watched that Liverpool squad, I saw a
mm,
bunch of players that were bought because they fit together, they fit those positions perfectly well, and they're
mm.
very. My God, how comfortable they were on the ball! How comfortable they were at passing it to each other, knowing where each other was. And then you watch our squad, and someone did a fantastic thing on one of the Italian channels, which is looking at the heat maps of our players.
Mm.
Shane, everything is on the right hand side. Everything. Why is it all on the right hand side? Because we're constantly having to defend our right wing because there's nothing on that side to protect us. So all the
Every
players are drifting over to the right.
everyone knows at this point.
Everyone knows. And you kind of think, we've got a squad that's basically been built unbalanced. It's not been built for footballing reasons.
It's
Really interesting.
it's being built by people who don't know what a functioning team is, though. This is the
Correct.
thing, right? See,
Correct.
so it's like if you look at it, look, arguably you could say, okay, Ibra does, right? But this is Forlani, right? Mancada, you know, and I mean, the only consistency here, right? Like, this is, it is gone to the point now where, like, they're making such a big deal, right? Because management know that they fucked up with Fonseca. And they're making such a big deal now about being vocal, right? And saying that they're like, yeah, we're looking for someone else. This is the list of people, right? But you know that, like, the reason why they're doing that is literally to take the spotlight off themselves. And the thing is it'll be fucking Ibra's head that's going to roll. And I won't
I
be
don't care.
against it, to be honest. I won't be
Yeah,
against
I
it.
don't care. Yeah,
But he's going to be scapegoated, right, for the problems, right?
yeah,
And then it's going to be, fleshlight fucking Forlani, right, who's still at the club. Do you know what I mean? And it's
yeah.
like, and no one is questioning this. The fact is, like, are you putting in this position? And it's like, oh no, it'll be another fucking summer transfer window of, they might spend 100 million, on 5 shite players, right? And then that makes everyone happy for a week, right? And next thing we just go back to this cycle again and we start again. And it's like the
Yeah.
problem is that there's no project. This comes from Cardinale himself. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's hired out the running of the project, right, to people who don't have a fucking clue what they're doing.
I said this to Kim. I think that this will be Cardinale's biggest failure.
He's
I
fucked.
really do think so.
He's completely fucked it, man. Honestly, dude, he is completely fucked it.
Yeah. I
He's
think this
fucked.
will be his biggest business failure, and he's trying desperately. He's going to start to try desperately because there's no hiding place. Ultimately, we are a football club, and that's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to be judged on. Okay,
Mm.
and on footballing reasons, over the last 2 years, he has absolutely demolished the club. He's absolutely diminished any Milanismo that existed in the club. And on the footballing side, we've just gotten worse and worse and worse. I don't give a flying F of the number of players they've brought in, how much money they've spent. I generally do not care. Those players never fit the system, they never fit the squad. They don't play together well. They never will play together well. And so you're just left with trying to rescue a top four position in the league somehow to make the next Champions League. That's all you're trying to do now.
And,
That's
and
literally all it is.
and you know from the fan experience, John. Just
Yeah.
going back to the trip. So
Yeah.
so again, I went to Casa Milan, right?
Yeah, you did. You showed me a pic. Lovely. Yeah.
Right. So I went to Casa Milan, right? And then obviously you do the interactive tour, whatever. Absolutely beautiful. I teared up when I sat in the room with the European trophy. It is nothing else that you'd experience, right? And then I completed the museum, and that was intense, right? It was beautiful, and you're just seeing so much history and so many good things, and it just makes you more and more angry, right? Because you start looking at it and you kind of go, look at what we were, right? And now look at what we are. And when you finish the museum tour, right, they lead you up the steps to go into the fucking store,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And I've never been in and the first one of the first fucking things I seen was that Yankee Cola bullshit. That was one of the first fucking things I seen. Right,
Really?
right. €300 for a fucking jacket, John. Right, and then and you see it, and like, and the thing is, I didn't buy anything, right? Because it's literally, I decided it was like, I bought the ticket because I was like, I want to see the team, right? But outside of that, I'm not putting any money into this fucking shit project, right? And again, I said this last podcast, I suggest everyone do the same. But
Yeah.
it like the whole thing with the museum experience, it actually made me more angry at the fucking at ownership, and then finishing it by coming up into the store, which just cheapens it because you know that they're playing on your fucking they're trying to tug on your heartstrings and getting you to part with cash, and you're going fuck you.
Yeah. You were telling me that there was a Baresi signed captain's armband or
This
something.
is and this is man, and so this is what, like, I'm a weak man, John, right? But when I
Did you
like
do it? Did you
no,
actually do it?
no, I wanted
You
to.
didn't.
No,
How much was it? Can I ask?
it was only 80. It was €80, and it's like
Okay.
that's because
From a
there was
Baresi
like
hand
five.
signed.
Yeah, it's like a hand sign thing, and then it was
Yeah.
€80, and then and it was like an old captain's armband, and I would have loved that, but I just can't because I know indirectly, it's going to Redbird. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to Let's Talk Milan. I like your avatar. It's pretty cool,
that's
man.
cool, man. Yeah.
So I mean, so he
It's
says,
such a strike at this greasy kind of Milan.
yeah, I'm not reading that point. I'm not reading that point. Uh, let's talk about. Actually, he brings up the subject. Let's talk about the Armageddon tomorrow. All right, Shane. Let's move on to the Inter game.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
so
Let's do it.
the
Let's
Inter
get ready
game.
for Armageddon.
Inter this week. This is okay. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. We
Mm.
faced Liverpool, what I would describe an elite team from the Premiership. Premiership, sorry, my Italian sometimes comes out. And then
I thought you called it Premier
it's
shit, and I was so happy with that. Pun. I did.
no. It's my
Okay.
accent. So the other thing, however, Inter then faced Man City away. Okay, so let's just see the level of challenge that they had to go up against. And I listened to the entire game. I was on my motorbike riding home from work, and I listened to the entire game. And I told you about Paul Merson's comments about how easy it was for Liverpool against us.
Hmm.
The absolute polar opposite.
Yeah.
The commentators were saying Barella, standout player on that pitch. What a wonderful footballer, which we all know. He's a wonderful footballer. I'm jealous. I'm genuinely jealous because Barella is technically gifted. Okay.
But see, the thing
Um,
is, though, John, you're
yeah.
correct. He's an inter-level player. He's too high level for us.
Oh, Shane, you just drop a grenade. But then they said this Inter team, you can tell that they belong here. The commentators are saying they absolutely belong here. We're a bit shocked at how they managed to mute the Man City attack, and Ireland couldn't get through Acerbi even. You know, uh,
Fucking a cherubim, like.
Shane. But this is my point here, Shane. Just give me a minute.
Hmm.
The fact that you've got a very, very competent coach who has grown in his position, who now trains the players and players that have been together for a long time and they know each other's movements, you
Hmm.
can raise players who are bang average to a much higher level by being alongside a quality coach and other quality players.
Hmm.
Yeah, it makes everyone around you better. Inter belonged on that pitch. They could have won that game. Yeah,
Hmm.
they were they were absolutely matching Man City stride for stride. Not many teams in the world can say that. So you can say Inter represented Serie A incredibly well.
Yep.
That's the kind of performance that will make people think, or maybe there's more to Serie A than maybe the Serie A is not dead, and I'll
Hmm.
tune in and watch.
But
But if
then
you
they'll
watch
watch
Milan,
they'll watch Milan getting smashed 3-1 by
this is
Liverpool at home.
you see my point. You watch Milan, the actual product looks like is a donkey, right? You watch Inter, you think the product is a racehorse. That's literally the difference between the two. And now we're heading into a derby tomorrow night with an Inter team that just literally matched Man City stride for stride for 90 minutes, Shane,
Hmm.
against us.
Thanks, Let's Talk Milan. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate you. See
Thank
you
you very
soon.
much. Um, we're going to have to go up against that squad. And I'll just Shane, we've lost so many games against Inter that the records that most newspapers carry are only back to 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Head to head, 22nd of April, Inter win 2-1. Um, October, Inter win 5-1. Oh, September, Inter win 5-1.
Hmm.
May, Inter win 1-0. Champions League, they win 2-0. And then Serie A, they win 1-0. We've played 180 times against Inter Milan. They have won 71 times. The last 6 times straight, we've won 58. So the gap is widening now between the two clubs.
I
Okay.
I'm I find that incredibly surprising that they have more wins than us.
It is what it is, dude.
Hmm.
We've got 51 draws, 58 wins for Milan, 71 for Inter. Straight from the Gazzetta right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But you see, the thing is, though, as well, John. Obviously they're not going to win. Right? Yeah, obviously not. Right? Milan, I'm talking about. They're not going to win.
Oh,
However, right, people are going to turn around again, and it's going to be, so. Oh, by the way, we have to cover this. Did you hear about what has happened at Milanello with Ibrahimovic and Ferlani?
no, you need to tell me this.
So After the Champions League game, Ibra had a conversation with the players at Milanello, which resulted in them coming out late for training. Fonseca was not pleased, and also he was not pleased because the topic of the discussion that Ibra had with the players was literally, "Are you confident with this manager?"
Okay.
So,
Oh, amateur,
um,
mate. It's amateur hour.
so you can imagine that level of stress, and regardless of what you think about Fonseca as a coach, and even if you think he's not doing a good job, imagine that happening though. Like,
Shane, he was brought in for cheap. He knew he was going to be humiliated. He knew he was going to have no decisions whatsoever. He knew what he was getting into. An adult knows what they're getting into. With that,
mm,
we all knew what he was getting into. We said he's going to have no say in any signings. He's going to have no say in anything being done at the club. He doesn't. He's just being undermined as well. Yeah,
mm,
but just every time you feel sorry for him, just remember 2.5 million. It's absolutely fine. Yeah,
mhm.
you give me 2.5 million. I'll let you undermine me. It's not a
I can
problem.
do I can do a half bar job for 2.5 million. Fuck it,
There
yeah.
you go, mate. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. I just think it's amateur hour with Ibrahimovic. He's actually dragging the entire reputation of the club down. And as you said, he is not. He's just been put there to take the hits from everyone. Making this is what we're doing. We're hating on him because he's the face.
And he doesn't. And he doesn't. And the thing is I know Ibra doesn't give a shit, right? We know
He
this, right?
does
But
not
the thing
care.
is you know, Fonseca or Ibra are not really the main cause of this issue for me, right? Obviously, I think the issue is it's ownership. So Cardinale, Forlani, especially, right?
Yeah,
Those two are the problem, and nothing will ever get fixed until they're gone.
yeah.
That's the difference. No
Yeah.
manager, no change or change of anything else. It's Cardinale is the problem. Redbird are the problem.
Okay, so Shane, going back to the game, I'm going to read you the predicted lineup, okay, for
Hmm.
both clubs, and then you tell me. I want to hear from your
Inter are
predicted
going to win.
scoreline. I know, but okay.
That's it.
So Inter lineup: Sommer in goal, Bastoni, Acerbi, Pavard.
Hmm.
Midfield: Di Marco, Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu, Barella, Dumfries, and then up front Lautaro and Thuram. Jesus, and then our squad predicted is Manyan, Calabria, Tomori, Pavlovic, Hernandez. In front of them on the two is Loftus Cheek and Fafana. Then the three is Pulisic, Reinders, and Leao, and up front is Morata. That is the predicted lineup from
It's
the
pretty much
Gazzetta,
the same as the UCL game.
pretty much. What would you predict as a scoreline, Shane?
I don't even think we'll get a goal, and I think it's probably 2 or 3 goals unanswered. I think the only thing we might be lucky in the way that we won't get too badly destroyed because Inter may be fatigued from because they had to
Okay,
put in you know a hard slog against Man City.
they did.
So
So that was an interesting one, Shane. Great point there.
mm,
Man City have got Arsenal this weekend, and we and Inter had us, and both clubs made early like timely subs because they were saying they were both thinking of the next games coming up, understanding that the Champions League league table is quite a lot of games, and so they
mm,
kind of went. Looks like they've settled for a 1-1, and so what they're doing is changing. I think Inter will be fine because of that, and they've got the squad depth to do it as well. That's the other
yeah.
scary thing about it is if they go with Thuram and Lautaro up front, they're gonna have fun. Those two.
Like
So your score, you reckon we lose by 2 or 3
two or
without
three,
scoring?
I'd say unanswered goals.
Okay, I am gonna say, realistically speaking, uh, okay, it'll be a good result if we lose 2-1. A
Yeah,
great
but
result if we lose 2-1.
yeah, you see, this is the thing as well. Is like the cope levels I'm at now, right?
Yeah,
Which is just like it it will be, and I agree, that would be a good result. But you know the
Yeah.
cope levels where you kind of say it's like it would be a good result us losing to Inter by one goal.
I mean, I wouldn't be happy, Shane.
No, of
Don't
course.
get me wrong.
No, and you're
Wouldn't be
correct. I
happy.
understand where you're coming from, but fuck,
Yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's what I said to there was a Liverpool fan pre game. They just lost to Nottingham Forest, right? So they
mm,
were like, "Oh my god, we're going to lose to Milan." And I came onto the chat and I said, "No, guys,
don't worry about it.
just to make you aware,
You got this.
you've got this. You've got this." And they came back saying, "Oh, I can't believe you're saying that, and you're being quite fair about it." And I went, "You're just a better squad than we are. It's just a
100%.
very simple process. Inter is just a better squad, just a better team than we are." And this is the thing: the cope levels. I have never probably said this
Mm.
until Redbird came along.
No.
I guess Pioli did a great job of just lose game after game after game, but this will be 7 straight. And people, I want to have a discussion with you, Shane, on this. Just on one final point.
Mm.
When people talk about cope levels, the banter era, and say it's
Yeah.
all fine, guys, because the banter era was worse. I
No,
just want to have that
no,
with you.
no, no. If I've said this to you before, Jam, I want to repeat it again. So there's winners and losers in life,
Mm.
right? Right? A loser mentality is, right, and this is a loser mentality. I am not that bad because look at that person over there. They're doing bad things as well. They're doing more bad things. That is a fucking loser mentality, right? A winner's mentality is look at what that person is doing over there. Well, I want to try and achieve that. And I will aim upwards. I will compare myself to the best and I will look at them and I will try and achieve that, what they're doing. I will not compare myself to the worst and go, well, I'm not doing, half the things there. It's a fucking loser's mentality. We need to get rid of that. Comparing it to the banter era and saying it's somehow okay, it's not. It's not. You don't support the team because it's like they're slightly less worse or they're slightly better than they were during fucking, a horrific time in the club's history. And you don't
Yeah,
somehow okay it. You
yeah.
want
I mean,
success.
yeah, and I think, as you said, it's a coping mechanism. It is a coping mechanism of someone who just wants to say, look, I'm trying desperately to try and find a light somewhere." I think the light is like just turn your anger, turn your frustration to ownership. Make it clear.
100%. 100%. And stop buying merch and stop doing this. Stop, go to the games if you want, like I did, right? Go to the
Yeah,
games, honestly, right? But when it comes to buying merch and buying limited edition bullshit, you're literally part of the problem. If you're going against ownership in what they're doing and you're going out dropping fucking 150 euros, whatever it is, on this new limited edition fucking, dildo covered fucking fort jersey or whatever, right? You are literally part of the problem and you're keeping ownership in their place. Don't do it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I just don't. That's why I've never understood it. I've never understood. So obviously, I've been there through the whole banter era. I've been there through the glory days, right? But my mind doesn't remember the banter era. I
No.
genuinely don't, and that's my mechanism of just going. It was a bad time. It's all grayed out. Forget it.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
focus on this. I want to focus on the great era. I want to
That's it.
focus on the greatest times, and I want to return there.
And again, John, that's the winner's mentality. Look at the best, look at what they're doing, or look at what they did. Compare yourself to that and try to achieve that.
Yeah,
That's the
so
winning one.
I find it very strange when people say, "Oh yeah, we had this player and this player and this player." I'm like,
It
"No,
doesn't
who
matter.
cares? I don't care."
It
It's like
doesn't. Yeah.
ultimately, and you say, "Oh, the players that we have now are better than that." I'm sorry. In
No,
2024, the players that we have now just got schooled by Liverpool, like we were a championship side facing a Premier League side.
we won the fucking Serie A. What was that? 2 seasons ago? I guess what 3 seasons ago?
3 seasons,
Three
and
seasons
then
ago,
we got deleted.
and we got deleted. So like we're not even as good as we were 3 years ago.
No, 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 absolutely not. I
So
mean, that squad had balance. If you want to go back and think, let's talk about recent history.
mm,
Kessie, Kessie, Kessie. For F's sake, Kessie Benacer, and Tonali
Mm.
rotating. That's midfield control.
And what do we have now? We have a Chelsea reject. We have. I mean, I look. I don't want to be hard on Reinders because I'm telling you that there's the potential that there's a serious player there, right? But you have a Chelsea reject in RLC. You have Musa. Again, I know what I said about him earlier about the great control, but he just never seems to do it when he's on the pitch. So, again, junk, right? Benacer permanently injured, probably gone anyway. You know, and for some people of the, for some sections of the fan base, that will be a huge achievement because anything to do with that disgusting Scudetto winning squad is essentially gone at that point, right? Like who else is in central midfield, John?
Right now, you can't think of anyone else, mate.
No,
There's no
and
one
so
else.
and we had Tonali, Kessie, and we had a prime Benacer.
Yeah. African footballer of the tournament in AFCON.
Like, and again, this loser's mentality about, oh, well, we're not as bad. Fucking bitch, we're not even as good as we were 3 years ago. Like
Yeah.
you can see, this is a marked trajectory downwards, right?
There's no doubt. There's no
So,
doubt. It's the squad is the most unbalanced I've ever seen it. The players are coached the worst I've ever seen it. Like not ever. You see what I'm saying? The worst that I have seen in years.
no,
Yeah.
there's no leadership from anywhere though.
Nowhere. Nowhere.
So if you look at it, like the big, fucking huge problem is, right? Especially the younger players, they would require leadership to come from somewhere, right? Because that's the way the brain works, right? Especially when you're younger, you need like a point of authority, right? Talking to you, guiding you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Now, if we look at that and extrapolate it, right? Cardinelli has hired fucking three jokers, right, that are trying to put patchwork fucking jobs all around the club, right? No one understands what they're doing, really, essentially. In their roles, they don't know what they're doing. They're fucking up, right? There's no leadership coming from them, right? They're hiring piss poor managers, which again, right? One of the main metrics of Moneyball is also to say that you get a yes man that doesn't ask questions. Therefore, he is weak. Therefore, the players won't respect him. Therefore, there's no leadership coming from there. On the squad level, there's no leadership. When your fucking captain is Calabria, you have a fucking problem, right?
I mean, it's just, yeah. Calabria shouldn't be anywhere near it. This thing about the most senior player, the player that's been there the longest, it's kind of an automatic thing in Italy about how they're given the captaincy. It's a strange thing, but I would say,
I get it, right? I get it, right? If it's a situation where, like it can't just be on that, right, though, right? Because like, there can be players that are actually natural born leaders, right? I mean, the only one, like, Moynihan, potentially Murata, right? Those are the only two. Fucking Calabria is our leader, though, and Jesus Christ, John, just leadership. It's like it's what happens when you have a potentially like a club that could potentially go somewhere where the leadership is quite
mm,
strong and it knows what it's doing. And then when you just rip that leadership out and you make all the worst decisions with fucking idiots who don't know what they're doing, this is literally, what's happened in Milan in the last 2 years.
yeah. So what I think will happen now, Shane, is that we're playing into tomorrow night. We're going to lose the game, and then they're
Fonseca's
going to
gone.
fire. Fonseca's gone.
Everyone's
Everything's
happy.
fine.
Everyone's
Yeah.
happy because change is good. And I'm not saying that we should keep Fonseca. No, absolutely, we should not. Right. But everyone will be delighted because change is good. And, change of manager is automatically better.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, it's not going to make a difference. That's the thing. It's
Whether
not
it's
going to
Terzic or whether it's Tudor or whether it's Sarri, someone will come in. They'll have a slightly easier run of fixtures,
make,
which means that people will start to get their hopes up.
that's
But the
it.
moment you are going to be stress tested, you're going to collapse
Fucked.
again.
Absolutely fucked. Like
Yeah.
whoever this is, right, does not have there's no quality. There's not enough quality on that pitch. When they go to Real Madrid, they will get fucking ripped a new one.
Mate, just worry about Leverkusen next year. They've just won 4-0. They play for fun. They have fun out there. You just watch what happened. Atalanta taught them a lesson
Mm,
because Atalanta play football. They gave Arsenal a tough game this week. A penalty miss.
yeah,
They gave Arsenal a real
John.
game. Yeah.
John, do you know the only person, and this is kind of weird. It's a weird logic, right? In my head, the only person for me that would get me excited if we got as a manager would be Allegri,
Oh,
right? Because if you think about it, right, defensively we will be Loctite. The football
well,
will be shit.
no,
The f-
I can't agree with that, Shane. I can't. Allegri to me is like I know your point. I know your point. They over delivered last season. Juve playing absolute
Dog
Brexit
shit.
ball. I think
Yeah,
Max calls it Brexit ball.
yeah.
Um, they
Honestly,
won it. They won the Coppa d'Italia through ultra defensive football. I can't
if
watch that.
no, honest to God, dude, beggars can't be choosers at this point, from my perspective, right? I would
Oh,
gladly take if Allegri comes and let's do a year rolling contract, or let's do something like that, right? See how we go. If he comes, right, steadies the ship. Hopefully, we get him better, hopefully better quality players next summer, right? Hopefully he can, do something with that. At this point, we need someone that can completely rip us out of this fucking EPL type, you know, fucking what is it? Fucking it's like weird, like it's kind of EPL light football that kind of Pioli tried
yeah,
bringing in.
yeah.
We need someone to break us out of that, completely change course, go back to ultra defensive for a season. I couldn't give a fuck if it's ugly. If we won 1-0,
Wow, 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 Shane. Wow, that's quite something. Oh my God, no! I hate Allegri ball, but I understand. I mean, you're basically saying, well, come on, do you want this?
yep,
Uh, okay,
I
I
want to
I
win.
I under listen. I'll take your point. I'll take your point. I can't agree with it. I'm afraid, son.
Because
I
Sarri, we're not going
prefer.
to win with men. I'm telling you this because Sarri ball, right? Sarri ball is like, imagine, right? I can either I don't have much money, right? But I can buy the body parts of a Ferrari,
Yeah,
right? But in the Ferrari, I can put like a I don't know, a Lada engine,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's like it looks good, but it's shit performance.
I mean, the thing with Sari is that he's quite a possession-based manager, and we don't have the players to
No, we
play that
don't.
style.
Sarri would be a fucking walking disaster for this club.
Yeah, I mean, so that's you can kind of see a flaw in everyone. To be honest, you can see again. I don't want to repeat myself too much, and we've done this to death. As in,
Hmm.
the problem is not the manager right now, but okay, Allegri would come in, and you would end up finding reindeers on the goal line. Uh, that's where you'd find reindeer on the goal line, and Leao, defending
Can you
corners because of his
imagine us?
size.
Well, can you imagine us actually being able to defend set pieces for the first time in about 7, 8 years?
I mean, I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Like when I think of so frustrating when I think of what Juve is doing now. Wow, it was a dream. Motta
I'm
and
telling you, man, it just makes sense because the thing is like any manager will build on what was there before them, right? So
well, they
Allegri's
should.
not. It should, right? Allegri's not the long-term solution, but what he is if I mean, can you imagine we got a more attack-minded someone like Klopp in 3 years' time? If Allegri, or in 2 years' time, if we had 2 years of Allegri, making us a defensive beast, and imagine then you'd be able to layer Klopp on top of that, or someone, right? You know, like that is the serious potential there to be very dangerous. But
I like your dreams, Shane. And how about when Klopp comes in, Maldini and a Saudi Arabian team come along and take over the squad? Yeah,
that's it.
by the entire club. That's basically what that would require to bring in someone like Klopp. To be honest,
Sure.
dude, I don't see it, mate. But
Financial
anyway,
fair play will no longer be a problem.
Oh, who cares, man? Oh, honestly, who cares about financial fair play? Look at Man City. You know, 115 charges against them. They're on a court case at the moment. You'll hear nothing for weeks and weeks on end. And they've just sold a strange player to Atletico for like 90 million. Oh, that helps to balance the book somewhat, doesn't it? Yeah, whatever.
There's something so rotten.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
whatever.
it.
We
Everyone
just
knows it.
worry. We have to worry about ourselves, Shane. Worry
Mm.
about ourselves. And the thing is, I this is the other thing. Nobody should want Milan to lose tomorrow. Nobody in the Milan fan base
Definitely
should be
not.
going out there and saying we should lose so that we can get rid of. No, listen, guys. Moncada, like this is my view. Moncada, Ibra, Furlani, get the hell out of my club. I want them out.
Yep.
Ultimately, I want Redbird out. That will fix everything
Mm.
because a new owner would scrap this entire management structure and replace them. But I want Moncada, Forlani, and Ibra out
Has
of
to
my
go.
club.
Yep.
Stop degrading my club. That's going to be my final saying on this pod. All right. Tomorrow, best of luck, fellas. We're all going to watch it because we're Milanisti. We love our club. We hope for a miracle because that's what it will be. Yeah, a draw or a win will be an absolute miracle.
I just want to close the podcast with one last image, right?
Oh,
Because I think it goes, it's very much finishing on topic, right?
what?
So
What is
this,
this?
right? This is taken from Casa Milan, right? So there's from the museum,
Oh,
right? So there's a reading on that. So it is a symbol of the passion that every Rossonero fan in the world has for Milan. It was found by a Danish photographer during a trip to South Sudan to document the effects of the severe floods that have been striking the country over the past few years. During his trip, the photographer visited the village of Canal in the north of the country, where he met a wearing type population. Many of the young people worried by the floods of the Nile and working hard in an attempt to bring back some semblance of a distant normality into the village. And among them, there was a young boy who immediately caught the eye of the photographer. He's wearing a Milan jersey, the team that, the Danish photographer himself supports. It had the name Balotelli and the number 45 printed on the back. The photographer dubbed the jersey a piece of art. It was ripped and ruined in many spots, but it was held together by the passion and the sewing work done by the boy himself over time, helped by his mother and a local fisherman. The photographer asked the boy if he could have the jersey, swapping it for a brand new Milan jersey, and the boy, in a slight state of disbelief, accepted the swap. And just to finish, on the back of this story, Fondazione Milan and AC Milan have decided through UNICEF to support the population affected by the floods with a particular focus on education for young people in the area. And the finishing point, which is what it should all be about. This jersey is here today at the Casa Milan and Mondo Milan Museum as a symbol of how passion for this club overcomes all circumstances and situations, even the most difficult ones.
nice.
So, there we go.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Now that is Milanismo,
There we go. There we go.
and we can finish it there. Well
God
done, Shane.
bless.
Lovely.
God bless. See you next week. And let me roll the
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan. See you soon.
Ciao.
Maldini had the vision, built the team with precision. Legends on a mission that were lost in division. Jerry came with money ball, turned our rise into a fall. Fans crying in the hall while we suffer through it all. Where did the glory go? Maldini made it so. Now we're left feeling low in a bad team shadow. You still left the trophy high, dreams were touching the sky. Now we just wonder why bad choices make us sigh. Favorite set for the king, Gary pulled every string, but it don't mean a thing when you forget the zing. the trophy high, dreams were touching the sky. Now we just wonder why bad choices make us sigh. They just set for the king, Jerry pulled every string, but it don't mean a thing when you forget to sing.